nobody understands me. I just feel so alone. Like, if I can just replicate my image, if I can just see myself somewhere else, if I can just see myself, period, then I'll have someone to be around, someone to hang out with. Like, I can be my own friend, kind of. Like, sometimes I just look in the mirror and I like interact with myself and pretend like I'm playing with someone else, because I don't know, no one can really understand me as well as I do, and I don't really even understand myself, you know. It's like I can be a little more real by putting some of who I am somewhere out in the world that's not my body, because my body's gonna die eventually. My body isn't gonna stay here forever, and if I make data, if I replicate myself, then like in some way, something from me lives somewhere. But then, like, what do you do with all that data? Who's gonna watch it? Right? Why does it matter? I've always had this fantasy of some person being so obsessed with me that they just rifle through everything in my room, and they look at all my secrets, and they look at the way that I organize my things and assign meaning to everything that I do. Like a loving critique of my life, kind of. Like someone looking at my things to decide who I am, like an excavation. Because I don't know who I am. Maybe if someone else looks at my things, they'll understand a little better. Or maybe if they love them, then I'll love them more. Sometimes I can see myself reflected in my things. Like, if I get really engrossed in a book, or my favorite poetry book it becomes this icon in my life that I relate to myself, because I've spent so much time with it that I can see myself in it. There's really something about taking yourself when you're alone and being able to replicate that so that someone else can see what you're like when you're alone. Because what you're like when you're alone must be the most near to what you're like, right? Because there aren't all of these social influences around you. There aren't circumstances that are outside of your control. You're not acquiescing to anyone else's wills or desires. You're just who you are, and you're relating to your body and your mind and what entertains you and what you've chosen to be around and what you're relating to in this in the most pure way maybe that you possibly can. So then if you can record that and share it with someone else, if you can treat someone else like they're your other self, that's intimacy. So if you record yourself being intimate by yourself with no one, and then you give it to someone else, it's kind of like intimacy. It replicates intimacy. It's intimacy with this ghost, this disembodied ghost of yourself. And people can fall in love that way. I mean, that's what celebrities are. People falling in love with the image of something. These like pixels, information about them. They like read about where they go to the supermarket and they're like, I really know them. I know where they go when they're alone. I know what they care about. That's my friend. I can see myself, I can see everything that I want in myself reflected in them. So when you record yourself, do you make yourself into a celebrity? Kind of? Just asking for that obsession from people. Like, be obsessed with me. Hey, I'm pretty interesting. You should probably be obsessed with me. I really have something to say. Something worth saying that's worth recording and that you're gonna need to know later. So pay attention, because I'm gonna teach you something. You're gonna figure something out through listening to me. I know. I have a perspective. Something about my context matters. But it's the desire for that, really. It's the desire that something about your context matters, or that you matter, or that you're important. And desire is a will that you exert on other things. Like when you want something, you ask for that by wanting it. And if you think you deserve it, people are more likely to give it to you. So if I record this video, then I am more likely to get famous. Which is why you're watching this right now. Because I'm asking for it. And now you've got to be obsessed with me. And you have to fall in love with me. And that's it. That's what you have to do. Haha. Tricked you.